Hi, I'm Steve Carmichael, and I make fun woodworking projects here on my wife's side of the garage in the Carmichael workshop. I define myself first and foremost as a husband and father. I do have a family to support, and I do that through being an IT professional. That is my full-time job. But it's nice after working with technology and computers all day to come home to have a workshop to come out to and relax and actually do something tangible with my hands. I remember being a kid and making things. My father always had tools around, and he was always either making something or fixing something around the house. So I think that's where I got the bug for it. But when I was a kid, I used to make gifts for people, like a coat rack or a shelf unit or different little things that I would give to people at Christmas time or on their birthdays or whatever. And as I got older, I started, whenever I would see something that I wanted to get, I would think first, is this something I could make for myself? And could I customize it to what I needed more than just getting stuck with what I could buy at the store? So I started making things like speaker stands and different stuff like that I wanted for my room. And then fast forward to about 2012, that's when I started my YouTube channel, and there was the contest, the Whirligig Wars, that was going on. So I decided to enter that contest to try to win some free tools, and I entered a KISS Whirligig, and it ended up winning the contest, and that was a huge surprise. But at the same time, I also started making some videos to post to basically just show my family and friends what I was doing here in my workshop. Because woodworking is such a solitary thing. We do it alone in our workshops, and part of my job was to do training and teach people. So I really wanted to kind of get out what I was doing here in my shop, just to kind of encourage others to make things too. And also just share it with my kids and family. But then other people I didn't know started commenting on my videos, so I would reply, and I got to know people and meet a lot of friends online, which was all new to me. So the more that happened, it encouraged me to do more project videos on YouTube. So now, fast forward to now, I have over 150 or so videos out there, and it kind of became this thing where I wanted to make projects to encourage other people to build things as well. And I guess as far as making things and how I define myself that way, I guess I consider myself a woodworker / artist. I really like working with wood. I like all the different species, all the different colors, and just the different things you can do with it. It's really easy to work with. And I kind of like to make wacky kind of stuff that people have never seen before. So some of my projects have been like a wooden sub sandwich that I made. I've also made a lot of weird looking birdhouses. My favorite one is a drum set birdhouse. And also another example of the artistic side is everybody's trying to hide their pocket holes. So I decided I wanted to use the Craig jig to actually feature pocket holes in an artistic way on a project. So I made a pocket hole lamp that really featured the pocket holes with the light coming out of it. It was really cool looking. So that always gets a lot of attention at the woodworking shows when I take it to display. But yeah, I pretty much consider myself as a woodworker / artist. The last project I made was oddly enough not made of wood. It was made with my 3D printer, and it was a shop vac hose adapter. I find the shop vac hoses and tool ports, they never match up, and you can never find the right one at the store, so I decided to make my own. So I'm getting into Fusion 360 and designing parts and making them myself. So that was a cool 3D printing project, but my last woodworking project was to build some racks so I could display my vinyl record collection on the wall. So I made 4 different racks. Total they have 12 bins where I can place records. So I put my whole 350 so record collection on the wall, and I calculated it to be about 180 pounds of records on the wall. So that was a cool project. I really like doing projects that I can make for my other interests. Like I'm really into music and musical instruments and stuff like that. So whenever I can make a project that involves that as well, it's like a double whammy for me. So those were my last couple of projects. My favorite tool would be the bandsaw, just because I can walk up to it, turn it on, and cut any shape I want to out of wood. I like that sense of freedom, and you can get real artistic with it. Close second would be the scroll saw, because it's very similar. So I really like making things with those 2 tools. Although the CNC machine and the 3D printer, those are creeping up on those 2 as being my favorite tools, just because they do all the work. My favorite project has definitely been making a guitar, and I've actually made a couple of them. The first one I made was for a 2x4 contest, where you can make anything you want out of a standard 8-foot 2x4. And I made a acoustic Telecaster shaped guitar out of that one 2x4, and I really like the challenge of being limited to just using that 2x4 and getting all the wood I needed out of it to make that guitar. So it's a full-size guitar, and it actually worked, and I ended up winning that contest as well, which was really cool. But then later, when I got the X-Carve CNC machine, I was able to finally make an electric guitar, which was basically my #1 bucket list project. So I used the CNC to cut out the body, the neck, the fingerboard, and put it all together, and it actually worked. So that was pretty cool, and I recently bought the stuff to make another guitar, so I'm going to be designing that soon, so I'm looking forward to that one. But definitely my favorite project is making a guitar. I always enjoyed learning how to do new things, so right now I'm just continuing to learn how to use Fusion 360 to design parts and things that I can make with the CNC machine and 3D printer. I do want to get into welding. Back when Workbench Con was here in Atlanta, I got the opportunity to try welding for the first time at the Lincoln Electric booth. So I do want to buy a welder soon so that I can make things like table legs and stuff for my woodworking projects. I think it'd be really cool to be able to kind of mix welding and woodworking together. So that's one thing I'm looking forward to learning in the future. And whenever I learn something, I like to share what I've learned with other people through my YouTube channel. And I like making it look and appear like it's not as hard as it seems. Because a lot of times before you try to learn something new, you're kind of intimidated by it. You don't know the terminology. You don't really know what you're doing until after you practice with it for a while. And once you do try it, then you seem to think, oh, why didn't I try this a long time ago, you know? So that's one thing I like to do is, as I'm learning, I like to document it through video and share it with everyone else to encourage them to try to learn new things as well. If you'd like to find out more about me and see what projects I've made, I do have a website at thecarmichaelworkshop.com, and I've also got a lot of free plans on there, so make sure you download some stuff and make some stuff yourself. I'd like to thank Gil for inviting me to be on Makers Monday. I really enjoy watching the show, so keep it up, Gil. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.